Hi, I'm Warren Sprouse. You're on the Bible Forum. Did you know that you were a racist? Yeah, you. You are a racist if you are opposed to same-sex marriage. You used to be a homophobe. Now you're a racist. You're a racist if you believe a child deserves a mother and a father. You are a racist if you affirm the teachings of the Bible. And you are a homophobe because you are also a bigot, a hater, a bad person, even a Nazi. What fair-minded, decent person would want to be described this way? And who wants to have a phobia? It's the same today with terms like white supremacy and the white supremacist. Initially, they were used to describe people who openly believed in the supremacy of the white race over other races. That's really a stupid sentence because there's only one race. It's called the human race. But I digress. In American history, they were slaves and segregationists. The assumption here being that if you were other than white-skinned, you were a slave. If you had white skin, you were a slave trader and a segregationist. They were the KKK of the past and the alt-right of today. According to the ADL, alt-right is short for alternative right, and it's a repackaging of white supremacy by extremists seeking to mainstream their ideology. White supremacists have also been anti-Semites, Holocaust deniers, neo-Nazis, and members of the skinhead subculture. So white supremacy is ugly and bad. No decent, fair-minded person would want to be called a white supremacist. That's why these terms, like homophobia and homophobe, have been so weaponized today. You see, if you're a Trump supporter, you're a white supremacist. If you differ with any part of the Black Lives Matter movement, you're a white supremacist. If you resist the mob, you're a white supremacist. If you don't believe in reparations, you are definitely a white supremacist. After all, if you were not a white supremacist, why would you resist reparations? They need to get paid, right? If you don't agree with tearing down statues of Washington and Jefferson, you're a white supremacist. After all, those men owned slaves. So if you want to honor their legacy, you must be a white supremacist. The logic is irresistible. If you simply do not believe America today is, by and large, a white supremacist nation, then you're a white supremacist. Your very denial of white supremacy is proof that you're a white supremacist. And if you're a white Christian conservative, by default, you're a white supremacist. On March 15, 2018, the author of this piece that I'm sharing with you tonight tweeted, quote, "I'm a little suspicious whenever left-leaning Christians raise charges against white evangelicals who just happen to be strong social conservatives." In response, a leader in that movement wrote, "This political right-wing Christianity isn't Christianity at all. It's white cultural supremacy shamefully using Jesus as a shield." He is Dr. Michael Brown. So if you're a Christian-based social conservative, you are part of the political right wing. And if you're part of the political right wing, you're a white supremacist. And since you claim to be a Christian, you're using Jesus as a shield. All of this is the way people have formulated their philosophy. But it does express common talking points. It follows the standard strategy of trying to shame one opponent into silence. In the recent past and until today, the tactic was to brand everyone who opposed any facet of the LGBTQ activism movement a homophobe. Do you have a problem with the drag queens reading to your 3 to 5-year-olds? Well, you're a homophobe. You don't want first graders learning the definition of queer or gender queer? Well, then you're a hater as well as a bigot and a homophobe. Now, if you like President Trump's Mount Rushmore speech, it's because you're a white supremacist. Forget the fact that he said, we believe in equal opportunity, equal justice, equal treatment for citizens of every race, background, religion, and creed. Every child of every color, born and unborn, is made in the holy image of God. Forget all that, because clearly he didn't mean it, right? Or that he said our opponents would tear apart the very documents that Martin Luther King used to express his dream and the ideas that were foundational to the righteous movement for civil rights. Think about how far we've come just in the last 50 years. And then ponder which direction that is. Earlier in the show tonight, I mentioned that the average school teachers are between 40 and 50 years of age. They don't remember World War II. They don't remember the Korean conflict. They barely remember Vietnam, except that they were against it, or their parents were. They have grown up in a sterile environment. They don't really know who we are. But they are willing to be taught by people with an agenda. And that will continue until there is no more America and no more reason to teach. Everybody will be like everybody else. Except you, perhaps, and me. I'm old. I'll be out of here soon. I have great grandchildren that are just starting school. Unhappy.